We're so excited to be here at the University of Florida EASL's conference. And I got one of the amazing speakers that's going to be speaking today on the panel. We got Evan Sheriff, non-fungible Evan. It's a pleasure.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Same here. Now, talk to us a little bit about, what you're going to be doing here. What are some of the things you're going to be talking about? And if you want to introduce everybody, who you are, what you do, and, how'd you become part of this creative economy?
Yeah, so I'm Evan Sheriff. My background runs, and I played football at the University of Miami, and then did my master's up at UNC Charlotte while finishing up some of that eligibility. And once I got done with sports, I didn't quite know what I wanted to do. I dove in, tried a few jobs here and there, but ultimately ended up in the startup space for the past 3 years, working with blockchain startups or augmented virtual reality, AI, anything kind of on the edge of innovation. A lot of these digital primitives that, I got involved in the sports space largely because I saw a few years ago, FTX, when it crashed, you saw Tom Brady, you saw Mr. Wonderful himself, a lot of people involved with what I would consider these digital primitives, but they were released out to the public with trusted names in sports, with trusted names in entertainment. And that was when I shifted my mindset a bit from helping startups to still helping startups, but really ensuring that athletes and entertainers getting involved with startups are doing so safely, and ensuring that honestly, they're not taking on a lot of liabilities that could come and hurt them just for the short-term hype of it.
So what are some of the biggest common issues that you see with what's going on right now that you can share with the audience, things that are just stand out that just have to be taken care of?
I think the largest issues is obviously you just look at the NIL space as a whole, and because the NCAA didn't step in, the NCAA didn't want to help set any of these regulations, you really just have a Wild West. So the largest thing I've seen is just athletes not having the proper education to know what brands they're dealing with, and also not even know the deals that they're entering into. And they are the ones that have the spotlight, that are the avenue for a lot of these brands to get their product out. So why would you not want to know what you're marketing with it as well? And I think that's been the largest issue, just accepting more and more dollar signs instead of what could actually help you, and aligning, your, as an athlete, your business purpose with, what purpose that application you're working with, or that new product you're working with, or new service, ensuring it aligns with where you want to be in 5 years.
100%. And I think that right now there's so much opportunity for these student athletes to be able to take a hold of and grasp, especially when that opportunity wasn't there years ago, where now you can build that personal brand. You can go and make your money. You can go and build your brand of service or whatever it is that you want to sell or product. And now you can actually have a plan for your future. Whereas before, if you got hurt, what was going to happen after?
Exactly.
Or let's say you were a good enough student to play, even if you were a starter, but you weren't good enough to go pro. Well, what do I do now? And I think that this gives the opportunity for a lot of these students. Now, with that being said, though, what are some of the cons, though, that you're seeing right now with students getting these significant amounts of money?
Yeah.
How do you see their personalities change? How are you seeing their behaviors? What are some of the things that you feel that people need to start stepping into and giving?
I have a large opinion. I have a very strong opinion on this side simply because I played, sports myself. I've been in those rooms with people that were drafted in the first round that, were drafted in later subsequent rounds. Some people that weren't drafted and then make the money later. And I think it's that Johnny Manziel effect. Everyone has seen that documentary, okay? And I've seen that time and time again. I've even seen it replicated in the space, I really dwell in now, which is the blockchain space, the crypto space. You see these people making crazy amounts of money and it getting to their head. Honestly, it's sad. I very much agree with, Nick Saban stepping down and seeing that a lot of these kids are accepting money over development, over, stepping in as I guess I'll give you, if I could go back in time with NIL, if I'm stepping in as a quarterback, I don't care what they can pay me my freshman year. I care what I can get paid for the next 10 years. What quarterback coach is going to develop me, and that's the biggest issue I see, and I don't think that's going to change, to be completely honest. Now, I think the only way to help that change would be to put any guidelines, regulations, anything in place, whether it's a salary cap for these kids, right? Whether it's mandatory financial courses they must go to, whether it's even educating these kids that, hey, you're getting these fat checks, right? What if you put it into a trust? What if you put it into health insurance? What if you put it into, the issue is it's all a wild west. There are all these financial terms being thrown at these kids. And I even feel as I'm talking it, like I'm, shooting a water hose at people that may be listening to this. There's so much occurring that there's a lot of opportunity. The cons in that is a lot of people get taken advantage of when there's a lot of opportunity and there's limited regulation.
Totally. And I think these are all great points. And for you personally, being somebody who was a student and an athlete, and understanding the side of not getting paid, where do you feel like the upside in that's going to be versus when you couldn't have access to that versus the student having access to it? Obviously, there's a negative, but on the upside part of it, where do you think that's going to positively affect these kids in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think the upside of it is you're allowed to build a brand. I mean, I remember back my freshman year at Miami as a freshman, we weren't allowed to speak to the media. Think about that. Right. Now, it was a rule as a freshman, unless you play on that field, you can't speak to media. And now you have kids stepping on campus with hundreds of thousands of followers. So I'm excited for them. Just as I said, I think you need to understand if you're getting the money and everyone's praising you and you're the best player and doing all this, you need to take some responsibility to yourself and understanding what is that plan B, what's that plan C, what's that plan A of the plan Bs, that you need to understand what all the options are, because all the praise stops one day. I'll just say that.
I can see that. I can see that. So for you, Evan, where would you like to see the NIL space, the creator economy space, everything that's going on, where would you like to see it go in the next few years? Like, for you, what do you think is going to be the thing that's really going to create some more of a stability? Like you said, there's a wild west right now, as we can all see. So for you, what do you think is going to be some of the things that solve those issues?
Honestly, I would love to see more ways for athletes to get together and talk to each other, whether that's, I know some people are attempting to do it, whether that's athletes.org or others that are trying to put together a players association for the NCAA, right? Players from different schools. I remember when I was at Miami, I didn't speak to any players from other schools. I think now it's becoming normal. Back then it was, hey, they're competition, why would you talk? But now you're both very valuable people, I guess, in this ecosystem. Why would, one of the top players from the East Coast not be talking to one of the top players from the West Coast, or doing some collaborations together, that type of stuff? I think that's what I'm most excited about. And to take it a step further, a lot of the tech that's coming out, a lot of these platforms, and even look at what you guys are doing. You're allowing people to own their content, create their content. They're not having to do it traditionally like in music, how they had to go through record labels. I think just as each of these athletes or entertainers, so to speak, through NIL, has more tools at their disposal to use and get their message out through the mediums they choose, and not those that they're forced to or forced down, or, that were the only mediums of the past. I think that's what I'm excited for, because I think we'll see some athlete writers. We'll see some athlete screenwriters, maybe. We'll see some athlete videographers. Maybe they're behind the camera and not in front of it. So I just think there's a lot more to athletes, student athletes, and the athlete side more than just the student side. They have a lot of talents, and I think that's what NIL has been able to show.
And I think that now with the abundance of resources and tools that we have, I think it's almost how do I say it? It's almost a big loss if you don't take advantage, right? It's almost like a slap to everybody that came before you that didn't have these opportunities and didn't have these tools that you see today to make it easier for you to be able to create content, distribute, build your personal brand, and really get out there. Now, as we wrap it up, I got to ask you, because you mentioned, other student athletes, meeting with other student athletes from other campuses and universities. Do you think that's going to impact the game itself? You think it's going to be less competitive where, you got guys like back in the day, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, or they didn't want to even be on the same team. They didn't want, what do you think about that? Do you think that's going to impact the way that the game is played?
I don't think it'll impact the way the game is played because of this. There will be a certain respect to it. I'll give you an analogy. I'm very tight with Malik Rozier, right? We were competing against each other. Did we love each other while we were competing? Probably not, but we respected each other. So I think in seeing leaders from other campuses, those that also it might help you going through stuff. You're on your campus and you might be making more money than anyone else on campus. That can isolate you a bit. So I think it, in the contrary, it could be motivating, and that you see the work those people are putting, you see the deals they're doing, and it makes you want to do more, and it makes you want to affect the game. And I don't know, it's more of an empowerment thing. If you are the type of person that can root for someone while still competing with them, because I guess that's the way I viewed it. I want to see everyone else doing well, because if they're doing well and I beat them, then I'm doing even better.
So we can say it's a healthy competition.
A healthy competition, and I think, honestly, that's what our society lacks largely these days. We need more competition, and it's possible to have it healthily. So,
well, Evan, I gotta say it's a pleasure to have you here right now, speaking to you, learning about what you're doing in this space. And we can't wait to be able to listen to what you have to say in the panel and speaking on there. So it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming here on the Nucleus in the University of Florida. And looking forward to staying connected.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me. Of course.